Anna had always believed her life was a success, not because it was luxurious or filled with wealth, but because Viktor had been by her side for 45 years. Their story began in their youth when they met at a dance at the local community center. Anna was studying at a teacher's college then, and Viktor was just starting his engineering career. He seemed confident and reliable to her, and there was something magnetic in his smile. The years flew by unnoticed. Their wedding, a small two-bedroom apartment, their long-awaited first child, then a second. Viktor worked hard, sometimes staying late at construction sites, but he always came home. Anna knew he did it for the family. She, in turn, devoted herself to the children and to the school where she taught literature. Their home was often filled with laughter, the scent of homemade baking, and quiet conversations over dinner. They argued sometimes, like everyone does, but made up quickly. Viktor never left the house without saying, "I'm sorry." In time, they had grandchildren. The house filled once again with joyful noise and children's voices. Viktor became gentler, spending hours with the little ones, building toy houses for them, fixing broken cars, teaching his grandson to hold a hammer. Anna watched him and thought, there he is, a real father and grandfather. Could I have dreamed of anything more? But nothing lasts forever. A few years ago, Viktor's health began to fail. First mild fatigue, then heart problems. Anna insisted on medical checkups. He waved her off. "Come on, I'll be fine." But the illness struck him quickly and mercilessly. In his final months, he could no longer get out of bed on his own. Anna cared for him day and night, changed his sheets, prepared special meals, held his hand. When the pain became unbearable, Viktor would often look at her with a long gaze as if he wanted to say something, but stopped mid-sentence. "Thank you," he would whisper. She would reply, "Don't thank me. We're always together." She truly believed she knew him completely. After all, they had walked through almost their entire lives side by side. On the day his heart stopped, Anna sat beside him, holding her husband's hand in hers. The room was quiet except for the ticking of the old clock and his weak breathing. She leaned over and whispered, "I love you, Viktor." And she felt his fingers slowly relax. Anna's world collapsed in an instant. The house became unbearably empty. Viktor's belongings remained in their places, his glasses on the nightstand, his shirt on the back of a chair, an unfinished book. Everything reminded her of him, and each detail caused pain. Neighbors and relatives came to comfort her, saying, "You lived a beautiful life." But Anna found no comfort. She hadn't just lost a husband, she had lost half of herself. She thought she knew Viktor better than anyone. 45 years together through hardship and joy, how could it be otherwise? She was certain their love and honesty had been perfect. But ahead of her lay a blow she couldn't have imagined. Anna couldn't bring herself to sort through her husband's belongings for a long time. It seemed that if she left everything in place, Viktor would still be there. He'd come out of the bedroom, adjust his glasses, ask where his newspaper was. But time passed, and dust gradually covered his books, documents, and personal items. Her family gently suggested, "Mom, maybe you should sort through some things. It might help." One day, gathering her strength, Anna decided to do it. She chose a Sunday. Sunlight streamed through the windows, but for her the day was dim, as if everything around had lost its color. She took out a large cardboard box and began folding his shirts, ties, and a stack of neatly ironed handkerchiefs that Viktor always liked to carry. Each item brought back memories. This shirt was what he wore when they first took their grandson to the park. This tie he wore to their daughter's wedding. Old work gloves with worn palms reminded her of his dedication. Anna tried to keep herself together, but her hands trembled. In the dresser drawer, She noticed a small wooden compartment locked with a tiny key. She had never paid attention to it before. Viktor rarely used this drawer, and Anna thought it was just storage for odds and ends. But now, when she took the small key from his wallet and inserted it into the lock, her heart stopped. The lock clicked open. Anna slowly pulled out the drawer. Inside lay a neat stack of letters tied with an old ribbon, yellowed photographs, and several documents. She felt her breathing quicken. She carefully picked up the first letter. The paper was soft, slightly torn at the edges. On the envelope, Viktor's name was written in beautiful feminine handwriting. Anna unfolded the letter. At first, the words jumped before her eyes, but then the meaning hit her. Our son is taking his first steps now. I wish you were here. He looks so much like you. The word son struck her like thunder from a clear sky. She read the letter again and again, not believing her eyes. The other letters only confirmed what she'd read. An unknown woman named Elena had written to Viktor about a child, about their life together. The tone was full of longing and tenderness, but many lines also carried resentment. You promised you'd come. I can't explain to him why he doesn't know his father. Anna set the letter aside and picked up a photograph. It showed a young woman with a boy about 3 years old. The boy had light hair, a serious expression, and that same dimple on his chin that Anna knew all too well. Viktor had exactly the same one. Her head spun, and she sat right down on the bed, pressing the photograph to her chest. Is this really true? Flashed through her mind. All this time, I lived with a man who kept such a secret. Why did he never tell me? Why did he hide it? Were our 45 years together a lie? The documents completed the picture. Anna found the child's birth certificate with Viktor's name listed as the father. All doubts vanished. Her husband had indeed had a son outside of marriage long before their wedding. Anna felt betrayed. It seemed the walls were closing in, that even the air was becoming heavy. She remembered those long looks Viktor gave her before his death. Maybe he wanted to confess but couldn't bring himself to do it. Maybe he was afraid of destroying her world. Tears rolled down her cheeks, falling onto the yellowed letters. She wanted to scream, but her voice caught in her throat. Her chest was torn by contradiction. On one hand, love and gratitude for the life they'd shared together. On the other, the bitterness of betrayal and secrets that now poisoned her memories. She sat among her husband's belongings until nightfall, frozen with the letters and photographs on her lap. The house that had been her fortress and symbol of happiness suddenly became a place full of questions and pain. Only one question haunted her. What should she do with this truth? For several days, Anna couldn't find peace. She hid the letters and photographs back in the same drawer, as if afraid someone else might learn the truth. But her own heart knew no rest. She couldn't eat or sleep peacefully. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the woman from the letters and the boy with that distinctive dimple. At first, Anna thought, burn it all, erase it as if it never happened. Why should I know? He's already gone, and I can't change anything. But everything inside her resisted. She had been taught honesty and had lived her life believing in openness and trust. Now Viktor had become a mystery to her, and the only way to stop torturing herself was to find answers. She began searching for the woman from the letters, Elena. The internet and phone directories became her first allies. After several calls and long hours of searching, Anna finally found a contact. Elena turned out to be an elderly woman living in another city. Anna's heart clenched. Will I be able to say anything to her? Hello? I'm the wife of the man you corresponded with 45 years ago? Gathering her courage, Anna traveled to see her. The journey seemed endless. Thoughts swirled, and every kilometer was difficult. Two feelings battled in her head: fear of hearing the truth and the need to know it. When the door opened, Anna saw a woman about her own age, a face with wrinkles, but lively, sharp eyes. Elena immediately understood who stood before her, and the silence that hung between them was more eloquent than any words. "You're Victor's wife?" Elena asked quietly. "Yes," Anna exhaled. "I found your letters." They sat in the kitchen. Two women whom life had brought together in a strange way looked into each other's eyes. Elena didn't make excuses. She told how Victor had indeed been the father of her son, but they had parted then. He chose Anna, and she remained alone. Victor had helped her at first, but then disappeared from their lives. "He was afraid of losing you," Elena said, "but he never forgot. I know he watched from afar. Sometimes he called asking about our son. The son was named Alexei. He had grown up, gotten an education, built a career, and never searched for his father." Elena admitted, "I told him the truth, but he decided I was enough for him. He didn't need a man who had chosen a different life." Anna listened and felt her heart breaking apart. Her Victor, the one she had lived almost her entire life with, had carried a secret in his soul that he couldn't trust her with. He had built a home with her, raised children, but at the same time kept a piece of his past that she never had access to. "Why didn't he tell me anything?" Anna asked in almost a whisper. "Because he loved you," Elena answered calmly, "and he was afraid the truth would destroy everything." These words echoed in Anna's head all the way home. She cried, but there was no anger in those tears. There was only bitterness that the truth had been revealed too late, when Victor was no longer beside her. Returning home, Anna took out the photographs and letters again. She now looked at the boy with the dimpled chin differently, not as a stranger's child, but as part of the man she had loved all her life. She understood that her marriage hadn't been a lie. It had been real, just with a secret that Victor hadn't dared to reveal. Yes, he had made mistakes, he had been afraid, but he was still the man who had cared for her, held her hand during difficult days, and loved her in his own way as best he could. She carefully folded the letters and photographs into a box and placed it in the closet. She wasn't going to hide the truth from her children, but she also didn't want to turn it into a weapon against her husband's memory. Since then, when she went out to the garden and watched the sunset, it seemed to her that Victor was nearby. Now there was a secret between them, but along with it came understanding. Sometimes love isn't perfect, but it's exactly what makes people keep secrets and fear losing those who are most precious. And Anna, despite the pain, decided to preserve the memory of her husband, along with his weaknesses, mistakes, and secrets, because 45 years of life cannot be erased even by the most difficult truth.